That's why he focused on his mission. Now let's begin to look how he began to display this. In verse 32, and they were in the going up to Jerusalem, and Jesus went before them, and they were amazed in the 12, and began to tell them what things should happen unto him. The A part of it shows that Jesus was ready to go back to Jerusalem. If you study the Bible properly, his itinerary, his mission, is what he has done so far. We know that Jerusalem had been a hotbed where they wanted to destroy him. A lot of attacks in that Jerusalem. He is put through a lot of rigors there that oftentimes he had to cleverly escape the attempt to kill him. He will just escape. You know, he knows that Jerusalem is a place where he will be killed, and he was prepared for it. He was not moved. So he decided to lead his disciple because he's now getting to the end of his mission. And his mission is basically to die for our sins. So he went. And disciples were shocked that Jesus was still heading to that place, that Jerusalem, where they have been making an attempt over his life regularly. And he still has the effrontery to want to go there. So disciples were amazed that how can Jesus see death like this and put in his head when he knows what's going on in that Jerusalem? But Jesus knew why he came, but they didn't understand. So he moved ahead and he was going. Now, as he was going, they followed him and they were afraid. It's understood they can be afraid because that's not their mission. To save the world, to save sinners, it's not the business of the apostles or anybody. That's the mission of Christ. That's why I don't get worried about some nonsensical maleficence that's going on all over the world in the church circle. I don't care because they are not the Messiah. They are not the one to save me. They can come with any philosophy. That's their choice. That's their choice. It's Christ that came to die for our sins. And he knew it. And he volunteered for this. He wasn't compelled. It wasn't by compulsion. He was ready to go. Now, the disciples were afraid, but still they followed him. Now, why are they afraid? I've just explained to you the crisis in that environment. It's a place of, seat of power, if you like, religious power and political power. That's Jerusalem. That's where the Roman Empire operates from to run the affairs of Judah. And that's where these church experts, this one you call men of God, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, that's where they have their office. They were close. The nearer you are to the world, the distant you are to God's vision, God's knowledge, God's will. That's just the truth. That's why sometimes when I see many of our men of God, what are they going there for? I know. And that's why they are really distant from the mind of God. That's why they behave the way they behave. Because the nearer you are to power, political power, the more corrupt you become. Now, as they were going, he was ready. He knew they are ready to kill him and he was prepared for that. Now, as he was taking the disciples along, they were very afraid. They were apprehensive. He now used the opportunity to tell them what he expects in that Jerusalem. And he took again the 12 and began to tell them what things should happen unto him. It's like he was compounding their fear, so to speak. That, why are you afraid? Because they're going to kill me. Let me tell you, they will kill me. They will kill me. It's not new. So that's telling his people is ahead of him. Because he's not afraid. He volunteered to die for us. So for him, it's not his business if people are planning to kill him. In fact, they occupy